What are your final thoughts on Dolemite, Patrick?
Well, I enjoy Dolomite. Like, it's not a good movie, but one thing I actually do like about, like, genuinely like about it, like, not like as in this is so awkward and uncomfortable that it's enjoyable. I like the idea of, like, Dolomite being this, like, folk hero.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just everyone knows him. He's just, like, I mean, aside from the fact that he's, like, the platonic ideal of a man who knows kung fu, who's irresistible to women, you know, all that stuff. All that kind of, like, wish fulfillment for, like, Rudy Ray Moore kind of stuff. I just love that he's just, like, even just the name. Like, everybody in this movie has heard of Dolemite, knows who he is, knows the stories, knows the legends. Like, I just like that kind of thing in a movie.
Yeah.
He's this, like, Robin Hood figure. I mean, not like, literally in steal from the rich and give to the poor kind of thing, but just, like, he's, like, that legend thing.
Yeah, and I guess that kind of ties into something I was looking up, because I would have called this, like, a self-indulgent movie, much in the way that Neil Breen movies are, you know, or I guess The Room. But I looked it up, and you're right, Dolemite was kind of this folk hero kind of thing where Rudy Ray Moore, when he was working as a comedian, and he'd already put out a couple albums as a musician, I think. And,
yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, and he was hanging out in L.A., and there was, I think the way he tells it is there's
some homeless guy.
Yeah, a crazy homeless junkie named Rico who would talk about Dolemite and, like, rap about Dolemite. So he took him back to his house one night and got him all liquored up and gave him dope and stuff. And then he just let him record a bunch of Dolemite stories. And then from that point on, he just kind of took the persona and ran with it in comedy circles for these, I think for 3 albums. And then after the 3rd album came out, he started working on the Dolemite movie. And I actually have a quote here from Rudy Ray Moore. "I wasn't saying dirty words just to say them. It was a form of art, sketches in which I developed ghetto characters who cursed. I don't want to be referred to as a dirty old man, rather a ghetto expressionist." At first I thought he was playing the Dolemite character like he wishes he was the Dolemite character, and, you know, like, this is the perfect character for somebody who's a little self-absorbed. But I think he was doing it more as, like, a comedy piece. Whereas, like, somebody like Neil Breen is doing it because he genuinely thinks he's that person, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Dolemite is a comedy character, and the weird thing is that I've listened to some of the comedy stuff, and I don't really understand. Like, some of that stuff's funny, but I'm like, what's the importance of Dolemite to this? You know, it's like you could kind of just be saying this. And it's like, here, it's like, okay. But when you put Dolemite in a comedy movie, it's like, how is he funny? He's not that funny. What makes him funny is Rudy Ray Moore, because Rudy Ray Moore's insane line delivery is what makes this movie very funny to me, as well as kind of the ineptitude in shooting the fight scenes and stuff like that.
Yeah. I guess for me, I thought it was really funny because I thought Rudy Ray Moore thought this was the person that he wanted to be. But after learning that it was just this character, and he also played him as a character, not as somebody who he actually wanted to be.
Well, I think he does want to be this guy too, but I think he just recognizes this isn't really who I am. But I think there's a bit of both.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. But for me, that kind of gave more of that folk hero vibe to this movie, and I really appreciated it, and I it kind of took it to a whole nother level for me.
This is not my favorite Dolemite movie. I prefer The Human Tornado, which is the sequel to this. I think that's a better movie. I don't know if that's a minority opinion. I really don't. I don't know how people view Dolemite versus The Human Tornado. You know, that great debate that is probably waged on for decades. But to me, it's about the classic Dolemite moments. And this has the "You're Gonna Have to Take Me," where he awkwardly kicks someone into the trunk and stuff like that. It has, like, you know, things like that. But that one has the real classic moments to me. That has, The Human Tornado has the "Bitch, are you for real?" It's got the sex scene where the ceiling falls on them. I mean, like, that to me is what Dolemite is all about. But I mean, this movie's good too. It's got its moments for sure. Just nothing as great as "Bitch, are you for real?"
Well, that's it on Dolemite. I enjoy it, and you enjoy it too, but it's not as much as Human Tornado. I haven't seen any of the other Rudy Ray Moore movies, but I am
Monkey
looking
Hustle
forward
sucks.
to them.
Human Tornado's great. Petey Wheatstraw's pretty good. Those are the big 4 that I've seen.